What's going on, Aries? So you have the Ace of Swords, Star, Knight of Swords, Chariot, Sun, Hanged Man, Two of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, King of Wands, and the Four of Cups. So this reading is, just like Taurus, but, apart from one card. Okay, but gotta trust the spirit. So the Ace of Swords, the Star, the Knight of Swords. This is a situation for you, Aries, where that's interesting. So the Ace of Swords, the Star, the Knight of Swords. A lot of you, Aries, have stopped trying to fight. You Aries are, done with the struggling, right? Done with the struggling of trying to get to know somebody, and trying to force the relationship. And what I mean when I say force the relationship is if the two of you don't work well with the person, then y'all just don't work well with them. And that, there's not a whole lot that you can really do. Now, you Aries will try to get to know the person, but if the person and you aren't really good together, if you don't really match, then it is what it is. So you'll leave them alone. So the Ace of Swords is about also too, just the idea of not trying to get people to pay you attention, trying to get this person to spend time with you. And I understand that because, everyone's been there where they wanted someone to spend more time with them and they tried to reach out to the person and then the person's always busy. They always got going on. And it's like, yeah, we should have a mixture of that. We should have a mixture of busyness to us, right? We're actually living our lives and getting something productive done for ourselves, right? To accomplish things. But at the same time, right? But at the same time, it's not a situation where it's like you should just, be so busy to the point where it's like you say that you like somebody, you may say that you even love somebody, but at the same time, the person is trying to contact you and you're just never there to be found, right? So the Star card and the Knight of Swords now represents this being a situation for you where what you've got going on too is that you've got yourself into a situation or to a new modality of life, I should say, where a lot of you Aries are pretty much, you're in the zone. Your focus has switched to what's really important. And what's important to you Aries is, number one, yourself, your own personal health, that is, your own spirituality, the 10 life values, right? Your spirituality, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your family, right? The people whom you're genetically related to, or your friends, the people you consider your family, your appearance, how you look, how you're perceived by other people, your dwelling, okay? And I'm saying this like this to kind of define this stuff for y'all so that y'all can get a better idea, right? That's why then you have dwelling, which is your residence, the place that you stay, right? Your mobility, all right? Not just upward mobility as far as having the potential to become more financially successful and known, right? And make connections, but mobility also is about traveling, right? Your ability to actually travel, your education, what it is that you know. Do you have a degree? What it is that you know, what it is that you've done research on, your profession, what is it that you do to get the money, right? What is it that you say that you are very good in that is something that you study to such a degree? Your leisure, how it is that you relax. What do you relax? How do you relax? Do you relax productively to where it can get right back into actually accomplishing something else or having fun? And then or is it that you are leisure dysfunctionally, where your leisure time is all about playing pranks on people and trying to get on people's nerves and creating enemies and whatever? And then you have wealth. So wealth is honestly defined. Wealth is not necessarily only rich. Wealth is really more so from a perspective of beyond riches, because it means that you can pass this type of financial abundance. And wealth means way much more than just financial abundance too. But you can pass this financial abundance down to your little ones, and then to your grand little ones, right? So so this is what it is that a lot of you Aries want. And like I said, you've laid down the sword of trying to get someone to see that they should want this, right? If the person doesn't want it, I'm just seeing that you Aries are like, you're not going to try to get this person to see things from the perspective of holistically or in a more healthy way, right? Like we should, statistically, we should be working 4 hours a day, right? Or less, 4 hours a day, depending on what it is that we do. And people work way too many hours. And it's what's causing us stress, because, it's forcing us to sit in these seats to do this, and it's running our bodies into the dirt, basically into the ground. But then, when you free yourself up from that type of stuff and you lay down that sword, that's when the enjoyment comes from. So if a person doesn't see things from the perspective of being more healthy, it is what it is. And then you have the Chariot and the Sun. You Aries, you Aries are continuing to get to know people. So you're playing the field right now. You're not really set in stone with anybody at this particular time. You're really just dating to see who's out there. The Hangman, the Two of Pentacles, and you're not going to allow anybody to scapegoat you. You already have enough on your plate. So you don't appreciate anybody trying to scapegoat you, getting on your nerves and having a problem with you and all this other type of stuff. Somebody's just trying to make you into an enemy and all that. Especially not the person that you're dating, right? The person that you hanging out with and dating should be the person that you're connected to, right? Because a relationship is a whole nother animal, right? A relationship can even be closer than the people whom you are genetically related to sometimes, because those are the closest two relationships that you'll ever have with somebody. This is part of the reason why a lot of people don't really see it coming when their loved one that they're in a relationship with, a romantic relationship, is undermining them, is because those are the two greatest connections you can have with somebody, is to share genetics with the person, right? In the form of your immediate relatives, right? Your immediate family, and for those people whom you're literally having intimacy with. And this is why it is that I say that intimacy is so important. It's because people don't understand, because I've studied this. People don't understand how important intimacy is. They think that it's only one layer or one element, and that people try to do everything that they can to run away from it, really. But what they're not understanding is that it is a very powerful vehicle it's very powerful. The idea that, you and somebody else can be bonded in such a way where now, intimacy is connected into it. Now the two of you are connected in a way that your friends just can't cut it. Your friends will never be able, in that regard, that romantic sense, your friends will never be able to, in that romantic sense, to cut it the same way that the person that you are romantically involved with can cut it, because it's a different animal. It's not saying that your friends can't be considered your family, but it's a different kettle of fish. It's a different animal. You understand? So now that you Aries are starting to realize this about yourselves, that you don't even want to deal with the person who's going to try to undermine you and playing all these games, and if it's too difficult, you just don't want it and you'll be out. This is very good for you Aries, because what this means for y'all is y'all are in a situation where y'all are finally getting real with yourselves, right? To be honest with you, that's what it is that everyone wants in a relationship, right? is a person that they don't have to constantly be with, where the person is going to undermine them. And what I mean when I say undermine, I mean weaken their potency, weaken them, always try to outmaneuver them and stuff like this. Even the people who have become corrupted over the amount of time and they've become dysfunctional, originally starting out, they didn't want to be with somebody that would be dysfunctional. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a breaking down over time. And the thing is that with you, Aries, actually understanding that this is not what it is that you want. This is not what it is that you want. You Aries, like I said, you Aries are able to get real with yourselves. Now, I'm not saying that this is something that just happened, but where you're just now becoming real with yourselves. No, this is some form of progress that I've seen y'all do since November up to now, where a lot of you Aries are learning how to become more and more yourselves. Because with fire signs it could be a little bit difficult. With water signs it can be a little bit difficult. Can be a little bit difficult because water can skew, and with fire, with fire you can't necessarily get that close to it, because of the heat. So the situation is that how do you get close to your own ego to know what it is to become aware of it. So the thing is that the King of Wands and the Four of Cups represents, so for you Aries now, to now understand that these types of dysfunctional relationships and all this other type of stuff where the person is just a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone, dysfunctional, and there's always a story that's out of season, that's whack. It's exactly like what Waka Flocka said, and Waka Flocka is a Gemini. Forget all that gangster stuff, and it's the truth. Like, forget all of that. Forget all of the exciting, dysfunctionality mentality, because a lot of people don't think that you could be exciting, and have a stable relationship with somebody. And I can show and prove that you can. It's just a matter of the mind state. But a lot of people associate, and they try to make synonymous with dysfunctionality and having a good time. So the thing is that this is a very good reading for you Aries. Now let's clarify some cards, because what I'm seeing here for you Aries is that a lot of you Aries are really growing up. A lot of you Aries are like, okay, I want people around me that I can trust. And I realize that dysfunctional people who are just wilding out, and you can't rely on them ever for anything. They always saying one thing, saying another. A person should have a good mix of being reliable, but every now and again things pop up that end up being more important. Because that's just the balance to life, right? Like, if a person has too much reliability, then it becomes to a point where you get to understand that the person doesn't really have any other purpose. But if a person is there for you 95% of the times, where they're consistent, but every now and again, right, they really do have things that are popping up out of the blue that require that attention, that require that immediate attention, then obviously that's just the natural balance. That's just the natural mixture, I should say, of life, right? So there's your unpredictability, among other things. But what most people are looking at it is, let's clarify the Seven of Pentacles. The way that most people are looking at it is, most people are looking at it from the perspective of like taking a relationship, a romantic relationship, as if it's some sort of job or something like that. Like, so to clarify the Seven of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Knight of Wands, King of Wands. Again, the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Swords is about, again, like, tired of having to give, in the relationships with the people and spread yourself thin, having to always be the one to put in, chip in. It's time for people to chip in when it comes to you, and put in effort when it comes to you, and see how much effort they give. Now, obviously, you Aries are not asking for these people to essentially give their whole life and here, but at the same time, they can take time out of their day to give to you. You know what I mean? The Knight of Wands and the King of Wands represents, as a result, if anyone chooses to not do this, you Aries will just bounce. And you're right. Stop hanging out with people who are not willing to give their time to you. A lot of people, see, because here's the thing. A lot of people get offended because they're not being, financially compensated. And they're completely missing the point. And it goes to show you how dysfunctional they are. Because what's the most precious thing in the world is time. It's not money. There's a precedent over money, which is time. If a person is giving you their time, that's some time that they can never be able to get back. Way too many times, people want to be compensated for their time. Oh, you need to give me money. You need to buy me this. You need to buy me that. Well, what are you giving up? What are you offering me? I'm offering you my time that I'll never be able to get back. Will the bags and the cash and stuff like this come along? Yeah, incrementally. I'm not going to go ahead and just give you thousands of dollars just for no reason, just so that you can spend on frivolous things. But I'm giving you my time, my quality time. No, people don't think that's good enough. And this is part of the reason why there's so much dysfunctionality. It's because people are looking at relationships from a transactional point of view. You're looking at it from that type of leisurely culture, if you catch my drift. You want to be compensated financially for your time, and you don't seem to realize you already were. Time, the person spent their time with you, they'll never be able to get back. So let's clarify the Four of Cups. So to clarify the Four of Cups, we have the Temperance, Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords, and the World, right? Your mentality is more worldly. Your mentality is bigger. Your mentality is more open. You're more open-minded now. You're done with the whole struggle of. You're done with trying to force relationships and be with people and try to spend quality time with people who deliberately don't make any type of time for you to be in their life, for the two of you can actually, so that the two of you can actually grow, maintain and grow the relationship sustainably. So a lot of you are using the knowledge that you've gained, and you're like, look, if a person doesn't put in effort, because part of that effort is the time that you spend with the person. Because you pick and choose, everyone has the right to pick and choose who they spend their time with. So part of the effort is spending time with somebody. So, that's pretty much it for now. I'm glad for you Aries that a lot of you Aries, it's finally starting to click. And a lot of you has finally started to realize that it's a good idea for you to put down the sword and to stop fighting, because there's an art of fighting without fighting. You don't have to win at a war through the use of violence. You can win at a war through the use of humility in certain cases, of course. But that's pretty much it. Trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers by the end of June. As of right now, have 5,640 some odd subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. Peace.